Welcome, race fans, back to Black Flag Racing. My name is Webbo, here to join you as usual for today's race. I would say today. I was going to say tonight. It is night time. I have jacked the exposure all the way up, so I'm going to try and do my level best for you to get everything as clear as we possibly can. We are at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the most historic racetracks across the entire globe, if not the universe, and we're here to enjoy a 1 hour premiere race among our highest ranked drivers here at the wonderful Black Flag Racing. Hello to all of you joining live. I can see Rice is with us. I can see a gift from Going Grace already. That's very well received, and thank you so much for that. We now can enjoy, of course, ad-free coverage for everybody, thanks to Going Grays there. Hi to Papa Pudding, Elite Rain, Bullman, Elite Rain. Thank you for getting your stream up, which is brilliant. And we will just check in then with the current standings in the top of the tree. GT3 is done. We've got 4 minutes and 48 seconds remaining of the GT4 qualifying. What this screen doesn't tell you is our pole position sitter, and that pole man is currently and will be Marnik, who out-qualifies Angel by 1.5 tenths of a second. So GG's to Marnik, and also for getting his stream on. More of that in a few minutes time. We have Major Getrex qualifying in third in the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2. Fantastic performance from him. And we've got Alpha qualifying in fourth. Hello to all the Nordic supporters. Nordic Dad Keith is in P5. I hope we're going to get a shout out from the Nordic family. We get Nordic kids, we get Nordic grandkids, and we get Nordic nephews as well. So fantastic if you can give us a big shout out later on. We've got Hellgrind in P6 returning to us in his Ford Mustang, as pictured in the thumbnail today. We've got Chappie in 7th. Aries in 8th. Ahead of what would be a fairly disappointing qualifying, I would say, for Aries and Nate, 8th and 9th positions. Survivor is in 10th, with Elite Rain in 11th, and we have Simracer qualifying in P12. We're not all done with GT4s, but as things stand, Rice is ahead of Milkman and GTX Dave. Deposed back to row 2 in the GT4 field. Hi to Veronica as well, to just say hello, and to Tintin. Hello to all of you. We've got Hunter Slamboni, North Sea Ghost Stroke, who has not turned on his stream. Unfortunately, Ghost Stroke, we won't be enjoying his trip today. Temp is out there ahead of Max Trax, Topher. The first time I read that, I saw top her head. Alohi and Rob as well. So good to have everybody. Let's get you some cars in motion, shall we? I've got Alpha sitting there, who's apparently not in the pits, but he's definitely in the pits. And we'll ride for a few moments then with GTX Dave. This is what I like to call essentially the abomination circuit configuration of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I can't really believe what they were thinking when they decided to create this. But this is what we have. Turn 1 as we head in, and you'll see a golf course flat design on the infield soon enough. Then turn 2, very low grip through here, and then into 3, which becomes a much tighter entry to turn 4, much slower as we try and get the car hooked up. There is a tiny little piff-paff chicane coming up, and that is through to turn. Oh no, actually we're going right here, so we're going to go in left into the U-bend section here. Very long, slow, requires a lot of patience through the left-hander of 6, and then turn 7 onto what is essentially the reverse centre line straightaway. You can see GTX Dave just winding the car around a little bit there. As in Christopher without the Chris. Yes, exactly. It's Topher we'll go for. Turning to the left, in through turn 8 and 9 now. Right angles to the right, and then a very sharp left-hander through turn 10. 11 takes you up and onto, slowly but surely, up onto a very short section of the 2 mile oval, excuse me, up and onto the banking, and then straight back down onto the asphalt on the infield section for a very slow section of the racetrack. Heading then back up and onto the fast stuff. We don't actually get properly up onto the racetrack until we hit this part, the dark asphalt across the grid hatchings, and that is a lap of the abomination here. Hi to Nate, well, it's certainly a much better evening for spending it with all of you. Here to enjoy the race with you as always. I'm very glad to be here there. So Gray's saying the infield track was built to try and encourage F1 racing at Indy. It didn't work so well, did it? But even that circuit configuration was better than this one. So yeah, there's just something that for me, this completely lacks any sense of rhythm, this particular configuration, but it is what we have. Let's have a look at the late breakers substitute today. This is Rob Phil. I'm assuming that is Rob Phil overall. Hi to Marnik. Thank you for getting your stream on, Marnik. I appreciate it, as always. We'll have a look at... I'm not going on to the POVs just yet because drivers are making setup and strategy choices, and I don't want to give the game away, as it were. Once we get into the formation lap, obviously we can get straight on with it and see what everyone's up to. This is Rob Phil then, currently 24th of 24 active drivers. I'm listed as being in the pits, but that gives me these extra views and an ability to navigate between drivers that we don't have if I join as a spectator, ironically enough. It's such a weird situation. Rob Phil, number 69. There's always one number 69, and today it's Rob Phil. But what you can see then is, let's have a look at those GT4 standings. Just as we come towards the end of the qualifying session, the clock has gone dead. There'll be some checkered flags being taken, but we start with, where do we start? With Rice, who steals pole position today ahead of Milkman, with GTX Dave, as I say, back on row 2 ahead of Hunter, Slambonin, North Sea Ghost Stroke, Alohi, Temp, Maxtrax, Topher, and Rob Phil there as we see him pictured. He's going to come across the line momentarily. That's not glass on the race surface across the brickyard here on the yard of bricks on the start-finish straight. That is just marbles glowing. And let's have a look then at our standings here for as things stand, so to speak, this season. So you can see we'll go by total scores for now. I keep coming back to this and wishing that we had this in order because it is getting me every time. But leading the championship is Alpha in the GT3s ahead of Marnik. Marnik has a higher total points allocation, but he has a higher lowest score, as it were. So there's only 1 point between Alpha and Marnik. Angel has 10, and he is joined with Rubinho and Hellgrind with 10 points each. We've got Aries on 9 ahead of Major Get Wrecked on 7 and Chappie on 4. Who have we got in the GT4 field? We've only got total scores, not drop scores for GT4, so I'll have to take it that way. Kai van Hesse leads the championship, didn't score in Donington, but is still in the lead of the championship by 4 points from Alohi. GTX Dave is doing a good job out there in P3 in the championship at the moment, ahead of Milkman. Let me work through this one. We've got Rice in the next position, followed by Hunter. And in our teams championship, we have, let me just get this a little bit clearer to see. We have North Star Racing, who have 145 points so far, ahead of Chewy Motorsports, who have 115. Kessel Run Racing only 40, and Late Breakers, surprisingly enough, have just 17 points. We're not seeing on this particular display, I believe, the penalties. So we're not seeing discounted scores, essentially, that we have ended up receiving at various points throughout the season. But yeah, we have to trust in what's been happening in the stewards' rooms. So yes, Logan wants to see the helicopter cam, says Bullman. I will do my level best to give you that helicopter cam, Logan, of course. You know me. I've got a horrible feeling. Yeah, I have just managed to. I need to return to garage. We don't like this. We don't want to see me driving. How do I do this? I think I go to quit. No, I might have to rejoin, folks. I'm sorry. That's so frustrating. Right, give me a second. I will get back in. Thanks for the don't quit. Tintin made the mistake before before you were so kind as to help me out there. My keyboard keyboard commands weren't working. So yeah, would have just needed to wait till formation is underway. Unfortunately, I got myself in the car. So here we go. Now we're talking. We are away, and this is the formation lap then for our race. Right at the back, currently the Kessel Run racing cars. We're a little bit slow off the circuit. We do have a little bit of lighting here on the racetrack. Let me give you a decent starting position then for everybody. I may need to just restart Marnix. Marnix seems to restart every time I change screen, which is kind of annoying. Let's just give you the proper view of that. We'll keep an eye on everybody here. So Max Trax and Topher currently right at the back. There we have Temp in the what looks to be all black entry. It is an all black entry in the AMG. Rob Phil for late breakers ahead of a low heat. Behind a low heat, and Ghost Stroke for late breakers, qualifying a little bit further up the grid. He'll hope for a better first lap than he managed last time out, unfortunately. We've got Hunter in the dark green. I did say black, but actually they look black in these dark conditions. But it's Tuer Motorsports looking very dark and black in the coverage because of these night conditions. This is the back straightaway or centre of the infield of Milkman, behind Rice there, and the drivers that is North Star Racing's Rice on the pole position for that's the number 14. You can just see they're turning into the corner right now. He is the lead GT4. The back of the GT3s we have Simracer and Elite Rain, followed by Survivor and Nate. Nate for late breakers there. You're getting used to all the colour schemes now, I'm sure. In fact, Elite Rain's Mustang, very bright red. Drivers are coming through the final sector of the racetrack now at the front of the field. We've got Aries there. You see him bottom left of your screen as well. And Going Gray says, keep an eye on Hunter, everybody. Why? What has he been up to? There's Alpha leading second in our championship currently, and Marnik has a fabulous opportunity right now to get away here cleanly, and we might actually get what we have been waiting for this season, which is a Marnik and Alpha race here at the start. Marnik on the pole position, coming through that final corner section. They'll go up onto the main IMS Brickyard right about now, and then they'll be underway for 1 hour of racing with one mandatory pit stop. Of course, drivers are under starters orders. We're hovering at around 42-43 miles an hour, and we are green light. It's drop the clutch. It's go, go, go. And a fantastic view of the action here coming down towards turn one. As you see, everybody's POVs getting very busy down here. Of course, it's a right-hander, very sharp right-hander on the way into the first couple of corners. And the GT3 field behaving very calmly. The GT4's getting a little bit better on the brakes, actually. Some of them further back there. And let's try and give you that famous helicopter cam, Logan. I know you were looking for it. It's Marnik ahead of Angel there in second, ahead of Kessel Runs Racing's Major Get Wrecked in the Audi number 215 in P3. Alpha sitting pretty in P4 at the moment, not making any inroads at this point of the race, but he's going to take this very patiently. Let me know what you think about potential strategies here. There was Angel getting a little bit wide on the way out of the corner, and here is a little bit of action going on. It's Hellgrind in the Kesselrung Racing Gulf blue and orange, defending from both Nordic Dad and Survivor. It is Helgrind who's got himself ahead there of Nordic Dad on the first opening lap of our race. Behind them, we've got Aries and Chappie with Simracer at the back. He's moved forward from the back of the grid back up to P10 at the expense of both Nate and Elite Rain. Rice still leads the GT4 field ahead of now GTX Dave, who's got past Milkman. We're looking for Hunter. We found Hunter. Hunter is alive, and he's in P4 in the GT4 field. Quite a distance already ahead of North Sea, Slambonin, Alohi, Rob Phil, and then we've got Temp back there with Ghost Stroke, Maxtrack, Topher. No GT3s have really suffered in a huge way on this opening lap. In fact, for Maxtrax, that's probably in Topher, that's probably the worst that we've seen so far. The two Kessel Run Racing GT4s getting opposite effects on the way through the following corners. But it is Marnik leading our race by 0.6 of a second. Major Get Wrecked already dropping a little bit of time there to the leaders as Alpha is hounding him around this IMS abomination. Just a couple minutes have elapsed so far. How's your favourite driver doing? Let me know in the race chat. Major Get Wrecked going very, very wide through the turn right there, and Alpha getting a good up and under on him. They're side by side now, but Major holding firm on the inside of the following corners. Here he goes. Alpha's going to try, I think, around the outside here. Major is awake to it, but the turns here at IMS are just constant switchbacks, and Major goes grass mowing there straight across the apex. He'll pick up a track limit abuse warning for that, I would imagine. And remember, stop-go penalties are in effect for your fourth infraction on track limits. There goes Alpha. He's got the inside line now in towards this final sector of the racetrack. A little bit of contact, but that's just a tiny bit of paint traded. Alpha moves up to P3. Major is playing catch up here as Hellgrind gets by, and he needs to stem the flow. Stop the loss here. Major, who's dropped down from P4 to P5, sorry, P3 to P5, with Survivor sniffing around and having a look for him further back there. Leading the race is still Marnik, now by 3.6 seconds. Marnik on an absolute sprint right now, ahead of Alpha, Angel and Alpha, and there is Hellgrind, Major Get Wrecked, Survivor, and we've got Aries back there as well in P7. What a start for Aries, who would have been disappointed to qualify in 9th. He's up to 7th place already, ahead of Chappie, Nordic Dad, who's dropped back, unfortunately, but I'm sure will be continuing to fight hard. He may be fat with fuel at the moment. Nordic Dad might have fueled for the whole race, minus 1 litre. You need to refuel by 1 litre or more, and that is the only requirement for our pit stops. There is Simracer just behind Elite Rain. You're enjoying watching our superstars here in POV. Let me know if you've seen anything in live chat that we've not been able to comment on that's been benefiting from the extra POVs here. I just need to make an adjustment, and we will go back to our 3 driver point of view. I do just need to change one of the displays here and interact with that so that we get race positions on that particular output. There we go. Okay, you've got a proper, fully visible leaderboard display now, hopefully, as you've got Tintin saying, let's go, Marnik. A good, successful start from Marnik. He's been missing that for some time. There, Rice ahead of GTX Dave. Rice, though, going wide through this 3rd sector of the racetrack. Unfortunately, Rice, and that opens the door. That was through turn 14 into 15. And Rice, well, GTX Dave doing exactly the same thing. So Rice, a real let-off for Rice as GTX Dave first passes and then doesn't pass, with Milkman's stuck back in 3rd in class here as they come through. Hunter is still alive in P16. His major problem, though, Hunter, this season has been the GT3s coming through, so that will happen 2 or 3 times for all 12 of our GT3 cars will likely pass Hunter 2 or 3 times during the course of our hours race around the Brickyard. We've got Alohi in 18th, Ghost Stroke in 19th, 6th or 7th in class ahead of Max Tracks, Topher, Temp out there in P22nd, 10th in class. with Slambonin and Rob Phil still making a competitive run of things, having them both out here. Marnik leads by 3.6 seconds. He's not disappearing any further. Got the 215 with an issue. The 215 is off. That's Major Get Wrecked off. And from P3 at the start of the race, he's down to 11th, unfortunately. Major Get Wrecked. That absolutely sucks for the Dutchman. They're down to the penultimate, not quite the penultimate place. No, it is the penultimate place in the GT3 because I happen to have joined in a GT3 on my car in the pits at the moment. So that's what was going on right there. But yeah, that was the yellow flag then for the 215 for Major Get Wrecked. Popular member of the channel, of course. Not to say that other people aren't popular, but you know what I mean. Do follow Major on YouTube. I know he's trying to build something. He's got a very impressive, if a little creaky, rig that he'd like to show off. I think he's fitted his beer keg in there as well at the moment, but I will wait for confirmation on that. Possibly in the time to come. Major Get Wrecked, Elite Rain, Aries Cloud, your drivers in focus at the moment, but we will try and swap that out for you a little bit. Available drivers I've got today, in addition, would be Elite Rain, and I've got Nate. So I've got a 5 total driver combination. Oh no, I've got Marnik as well. But Marnik's got a pretty boring race at the moment, so I won't display his race currently. But if there is a driver you particularly want, and they haven't given me their look at things, then you'll have to get them to stream onto Twitch and let me know. If I've read out their name or you can see it and you want it there all race, then you can always submit a tip through the super chat buttons if you wish as well. Angel in 2nd position, great start from him ahead of Hellgrind and Alpha down in 4th. We've got Tintin saying I think there was contact with Alpha, just scrolling back in Major Stream. Maybe some damage there for Alpha. Could you check for left side damage on the car? I can't, unfortunately. I mean, we can have a look for visual damage, but I can't actually see any damage display, unfortunately, Tintin, on my view. It's a bit of a competitive disadvantage if I'm driving the car, then as I have to for these views, then I can't see information about tyres. We can see the weather information though. It is dirt on the camera, not raindrops. It is a fully night race here at IMS, and we're looking at stable if cloudy conditions on the racetrack for you today. That is the beautiful Porsche of Aries. They're the 992 in the Porsche 992. So I tried to have a look for that damage. I couldn't see any visually there for Alpha. Perhaps we need to have a look at Major as well. Let's try and get close up to Major. That's the right hand side of the car, left hand side of the car. I mean, it flew by there, but I can't see anything at this point for Major. The second best sounding car in ACC in my view is the Audi R8, but the best is, there's no doubt in my mind, it is this Porsche. In fact, why don't we just ride with that beautiful Porsche and listen to that engine, especially from on board here. There's the tiniest amount of elevation change, but it's pretty much only the change that you get when you go up and down on the onto the oval circuit for Indy. Looking forward to the Indy 500. Who will be watching? Let me know if you're watching Indy 500 this year. It is, of course, the month of May, and I want to say it's Veterans Day, right? That Veterans Weekend that the race is always on. But I may be wide of the mark there. I do love this camera. I love this camera. I love this engine. It's just an absolute treat for the eyes and the ears here. You can see the Ferrari 296 getting quite close to Survivor behind. Impressive run from Survivor here right now. But Aries in 5th place. What a start. Tracks as flat as the BMW's engine sound system. Great line. Let's... Oh dear, sorry, it's just so boring. Sorry, BMW fans. What a shocking performance from me. But yeah, I have to say, I didn't go for the BMW very much. I didn't go to try driving it or anything. But when I got in it, it's actually quite a forgiving car to drive. It's just incredibly neutral. It's got nothing like your typical BMW understeer, mid-corner guesswork, lack of front axle reactivity. It's just such a well-balanced car in ACC. A bit like the McLaren, but McLaren has a clear disadvantage in terms of top speed. But there's just nothing particularly remarkable about that BMW. It's Memorial Day. Thank you, Going Grays. And I don't know my US holidays brilliantly well. But yeah, Memorial Day weekend. Fantastic. Okay. It's Elite Rain in 10th place. And we've got Nordic Dad in 11th. Simracer in 12th. Leading the GT4 field, which is still very competitive at the front end here. We've got Rice ahead of Dave. I know Rice is an active member of our live chat, our post-race comments, yeah, we love to hear from the drivers post-race. Like to see a little spoiler warning if they can, yeah, great to see everybody with their favourite clips time-stamped in the comments and all of those good things. But we have Rice just 0.2 of a second ahead of GTX Dave. And Dave dives down the inside into the corner that they both kind of had a little moment in, but Rice allows the room on the outside there. I think we might get a little tap on the way through the corner. We've got a little flash of the lights. I think that's distracting tactics from Dave rather than any kind of perceived slight that Rice might have done to him. Maybe he felt he was parking on the apex, but it's kind of his right if he wants to do that. It's a dangerous game, but whatever you can do to defend and using those lights, whatever you can do to attack, I suppose. Now GTX Dave, I think, no, it's David. I was thinking one of the Daves or Davids asked me if they could get their POV stream on the live stream, and I followed them and I set it all up, and they've never actually turned it on. I think it was David. Milkman in 3rd place then. There's a 3-second gap to the cars in front. There's some more light flashing. Hunter's feeling a little bit aggressive, I think, and serving notice that he's planning to get by sometime soon. So hard on the throttle then, down the back straight here and in towards the left-hander. Turn 8, and then a sort of weird quarter circle turn before very sharp left-hander of turn 10. You can see the marble pickup on the outside of the circuit there very clearly. Pays dividends. Now I don't know if it's easier in the night conditions here to actually see where the track goes, but in the daytime conditions this circuit is very difficult with all the different configuration options and trackside furniture that can either stay put or be displaced from the drivers. It can be quite tricky to find your braking zones. These braking marker boards at this kind of speed are just very undersized, I find. Track built for turning left around an oval, pretty much at full throttle here. Of course, looking back to Milkman ahead of Hunter. Got 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th fighting in pairs. North Sea in 17th, Alohi not far ahead of the late breaker Ghost Stroke, who again was just experimenting with his lighting. And there's Marnik making his way by some GT4s already. Marnik in the GT3 field lead ahead of Max Trax on track anyway. Angel in between them. There we've got Max Trax just ahead of him. Behind Angel, just clearing a couple of GT4s, is Hellgrind. Hellgrind in the Gulf colour scheme Ford Mustang here. Just remember, we've got just the 4 teams here at Black Flag Racing. We really enjoy watching them battle it out. I'm just going to give you a slight change to the POVs. I've got Nate there on the insert on the right hand of the screen, and you probably want to see a bit of Marnik now that he's passing some GT4s, I would imagine. Let's have a look at Marnik, shall we? We need to turn off Elite Rain to get Marnik's, and it's gone off again. Okay, let's get this properly full screened for Marnik then. There you go. Aries Cloud gets to be the main man in focus, I think, here today, as you've got Marnik just making his way by, and I think clearing a good tranche, all but the top 5 GT4s at this stage. We've got Alpha in 4th position, hasn't made any headway on Helgrind's P3 at this stage. What's happening with Alpha's strategy, I wonder? He's notably slower either at this track or with this particular strategy. So I wonder, is he changing things up? Has he heavy fueled the car in this BMW M4 GT3? I wonder. That is certainly a question. We'll keep an eye. Pit window opens in 3.5 minutes, where the drivers have to take at least 1 litre of fuel only. They can elect to change tyres as well. I would imagine this circuit is quite high degradation. I've never done an endurance race here myself because I hate this circuit with a fiery passion, but I really should spend some time doing it. We've got Aries in 5th place there. You've got him left of your screen. Actually got almost perfectly synced up stream there. Such a long pit lane, says Logan. Does that then mean, given that you have to go through that pit lane, that it's far more worth taking the tyres than a shorter pit lane? Down the inside goes Survivor in the 314. Now clearly in 6th place, well ahead of teammate Chappie there in the 296 GT3. He goes down the inside. The 613 of Slant Bonin, certainly leaving possibly the largest gap he possibly could on the inside of his car there, to allow the drivers by. They just ask the GT4 drivers here at Black Flag to stay predictable and stay on their lines. Get-Rex in 8th, which is normally Nate's position. Nate's in 9th position right now. So it's busy. It's a very, very busy portion of the racetrack, as the GT3s have completed almost 10 racing laps there. You can just see Get-Wrecked getting by Temp. Slambonin even. There it is. And this is Nate's view of life. There was a big amount of dirt kicked up there for Nate, unfortunately. Now he's just got to dance around on the outside there. He's slightly offline coming through. This is the McLaren. Sounds a lot more impressive than it actually is, the McLaren engine on board here. Binocular cam there, headlights for him. And a nice little bit of head movement as you hit the brakes. Gray says, I would say no to the tyres. The length of time in the pits compared to the short lap times can put you close to a lap down when taking them. Oh, big slide there from the Mercedes in front. That's nightmare fuel for Nate, who's just getting a little bit concerned there that the driver overcorrects. Max Trax, thankfully, though, saving it very nicely, the 308, to keep his position, keep himself on track ahead of Slam Bonin. That's Nordic Dad in 10th position, going outside to inside through past the number 13, and Simracer and Elite Rain are following him through very nicely. So far, so calm for Marnik. So far, so calm for pretty much everybody here. We've got the McLaren and the Ferrari fighting hard right now. That was Nordic Dad defending from Simracer. Simracer, a very, very handy driver. I'm always surprised when there are multiple drivers faster than Tozer. That one Simracer as he goes by. Still petitioning him to change his name because it's just really inconvenient. Here he goes down the inside for Kessel Rosen Racing on the McLaren. 613 is Slambonin, who doesn't really filter out of that one, but he's in pretty dangerous territory there with two fighting GT3s trying to pass him. There we go, race control, just announcing that the pit window is open. The only car in the pits is my car, so no one has pitted early. We'll just see if any of the GT4s elect to go in this early. I don't think they will. No one's really had a lot of damage on the racetrack. Rob Phil, 2 wheels on the grass there. There was a tiny little strip of grass between the pit lane and the main track, and he managed to cut into it. There is Marnik. You see, sometimes ACC looks so realistic with these cameras and the dirt on the camera angles like this one, and then at other times you just get the weirdest like visual artifact and janky immersion breaking moment. Look at the most probably the world's least effective floodlights there, lighting up precisely 1 meter of radius and they're about 6 meters tall. Marnik in P1 leading the GT3 field now by 8.5 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and speculate here that Marnik is light and the chasing pack are heavy. To take nothing away from Marnik and his pace, but that is quite a lot over 12 laps to generate an 8-second lead, given how competitive our field generally is. We've got a McLaren of North Star Racing's Angel in second, with Hellgrind in third and Alpha in fourth, all in close company, which you love to see. So talk to me, what happened in the prospect race? Why did the helicopter pilot and decide not to take off and give you the camera this time out? Very odd. Not one I've heard of before. Not a glitch that I've kind of come across. This is the view from Alpha's life, as he can see the Kessel Run Racing pair, the lead Kessel Run are in the GT4s, that is, GTX Dave in the Solo Ginetta, being passed now by Hellgrind in the distance. I wonder if being on board on the hood cam here is probably slightly easier to see what's going on. In fact, the exposure is a little bit over the top. That's brilliant, Logan. You spilt coffee on your keyboard and your F3 key doesn't work anymore. Brilliant. Bullman managed to not spill coffee in his. Oh, fantastic. The 801 has got a problem there. 801. Let's go back towards him and see what befell of him. That was Simracer, just off the circuit momentarily, causing a yellow flag. No drama for anybody else. I can't see any visible damage. We've seen a lot of damage this season in the first 3 rounds, but right now all is looking okay for most of our field. I mean, it is a big, wide racetrack. It's a traditional racetrack, but it was a purpose-built, I think, Herman Tilke designed infield. So it is really a very wide circuit. There's plenty of room to pass. And we are into the season point now where the driver's fairly comfortable with their relative paces and getting a little bit better in terms of traffic management. Milkman has made his pit stop, so has Ghoststroke very early. Before we get to 36 minutes to go, Milkman and Ghoststroke have both taken their pit stops, deciding to just get that out of the way, get out into some clear air and get pedal to the metal. We've got Marnik leading, as I've mentioned a couple times already, in the 6.7. P1 for Marnik in the Lexus. His gap to Angel, 8.6 seconds at this point. Just a quick catch up on the leaderboard. Angel in P2, we've got Marnik on P1, just to give you a full view of the current situation there. But you've got the leaderboards on the screen. Hopefully that is a-okay. Get wrecked and Nate, contact with damage. Reported there from the pit lane reporter. Well, that's not good. Where are they? There's Get wrecked and Nate at the moment here. Major has a bit of contact, maybe a little bit of cracking on the front fender and lights. Yeah, he has scored up that car. Does look like quite a bit of damage on the car there. Fortunately, I can't do what I can do in Gran Turismo, which is sort of take a sort of full surround view of the cars. They're both coming up to one of Nate's teammates in GT4 North Sea for the late breakers here. Nate doesn't look too bad, I think. Yeah, no, he has obviously had a bit of contact as well. Marnik in 6.7, better than his usual 6.6. Yes, mark of the beast there for him as Nate goes by. And Major get wrecked in the pit lane. So there he is. Where is he? There he is. Oh, good grief, I can't actually get onto him because we keep dropping back. Here he is, into the pit lane now. And we'll just try and go around here. Can't see much on the car, unfortunately, from these views. But he will be having some repairs made, unfortunately. But so will Simracer. So in terms of what we've seen on the race cameras, no major damage, but we do have a couple cars who are fixing a few things. Here is Max Trax in P6 in the GT4 field. Again, looking absolutely fabulous. Temp has cracked that front bonnet. The bonnet or hood is rattling around a little bit. We have had some contact then. things are not all perfect. Ghost is telling me, I think, that he has actually turned on his stream. But unfortunately, I think that was a bit late, Ghosts. Unfortunately, it's somewhat disruptive for me to try and turn that on now. Headlight damage, not good in a night race. No, indeed. In fact, let's go see what we can see from Nate. How bad is it? I mean, this is one of the better places to have that damage. Well, they're shining okay, I would say, at this point as we head in towards pit road. Here comes Nate then. What a cracking camera angle that was. And into pit road then. Yeah, well, I mean, certainly maybe his auxiliary lights weren't particularly well functioning, but yeah, seem to be shining okay at this stage anyway. There goes, is that Nordic Dad? No, that was Elite Rain passing teammate Rob Phil. Is Rob Phil reserving up, or is he a regular season change then? Is he a permanent change in the 69 for Rob Phil? Elite Rain. Brandon, as we knew him in last season. Let me try and give you something slightly more interesting to look at than a driver in the pit lane. Let's see, can we get Ghost? He has assured me that he's up and running. Yes, he is. So I will tell you what, I will turn Ghost's feed on. I need to turn someone's off. No, not Aries. Major. If I turn Major off, that's Nate. I have to turn Nate off as well, and then we get Ghost. There he is. Okay, we can get some Ghost content for you. There you go, Ghost. Appreciate you for making the fix for us there. Very kind. Okay, so Elite Rain in 9th, behind Nordic Dad. Not pitted yet. Rob Phil has pitted, and we'll just go back and see where everybody else is. Here is the GT3 field leader. That is Marnik in the 67. He's made this change to the 6.7, and he's suddenly leading the field. The gap has dropped back down to 7 seconds now. What is that all about? Is that just traffic, or has Marnik been a little bit wide? He has the best lap of the race, but it was 2.3 seconds better than he's managed on this last lap that he's gone through. Drivers will be eyeing up the pit lane right now. Gray's just saying, I think only the actual driver can see the flashing headlights. That makes sense. So, were you seeing that on his POV feed, which would be what comes through then, in place of where I've got Ghost and his feed at the moment? I've forgotten to relocate Ghost's name view there. Hope everything's going okay with the leaderboards. It's not something I can monitor particularly closely. The way I have things set up is I have small screen on above with all my kind of information and see what the stream is doing, and then I have the main game screen for my focus point. The whole Nordic family here again this week. Let's go, says Shannon. Fantastic. Good to hear from you. Let's catch up with how Keith is doing, shall we? Currently, I think last time I saw him, it was in 9th. As we'll go down through the order. Where are you, Nordic? There you are, in 8th, having pitted. So actually better than I had remembered. So they're the 55, Carlos Sainz Jr.'s number, of course, in P8, the Ferrari 296 GT3. Not the best of starts for Nordic Dad, but continuing, and is in a pretty good position here at the moment. He's got Alpha currently, so Angel and Alpha look like they have passed him and put a lap on him already. We've got our leader, our old leader Marnik has made his pit stop, of course. He's dropped behind Angel, Alpha and Hellgrind. My expectation for Marnik was that he had low fueled the car, so that he was expecting to have to refuel half a tank. That is my expectation. Whether anybody decides to take tyres or not as well is another issue. We'll wait for any pit lane reporters connected to team radio to monitoring that team radio to let us know how long pit stops actually were taking, and that can give us an indication minus any damage that they've got. But this was the former leader of the race, a certain Mr. Marnik. and I would imagine soon to be leading the race once again, because I think he will be able to undercut the drivers there. Marnik's not on low fuel. 3 seconds and done, says Tintin. So that just shows you, given that he had some like 7-second lead over P2, he's now down in 7th position. Interesting news. Thank you so much for that. So his pace is exceptional. Whoa, there's a problem. There's a problem for Milkman, who's spun, and he's off on the infield there. Milkman, just as he goes to rejoin the main oval track on the straightaway, just outside of the pit lane entry. I don't know if he's picked up damage. It looked like he may have just spun on his own there in the 570 GT4. Milkman, that last lap costing him some 16 seconds over his absolute best time. Bit of a tough one to take there, and now he picks up the blue flags as well as the cars are coming through. That's Elite Rain, and coming out of the pit lane, North Sea behind Elite Rain. Elite Rain will be pleased about that one. He won't need to worry too much because, of course, that's a GT4. This is some lights flashing from Marnik. He's a little bit impatient there as he approaches the 907. That's Ghost Stroke. We've got both those drivers on your POVs, bottom of the screen. So you can see Marnik first appear in the mirrors, then the side, and then going through. And he is, well, he's taking his time. He's being very careful about it. He might be treating his tyres pretty carefully. But Marnik makes his way by and then gives another little flash of the lights to the next driver up the road. That is North Star. Trying to make his presence felt very quickly there. We're on board with Marnik now, if you didn't know. And again, that little bit of dirt kicked up. It gets illuminated a little bit like fog in the headlights. The dirt kicked up in the faces of the drivers. High side, low side. Marnik in the Lexus with the GT3 grunt gets by again, and he's then got Milkman not far ahead. But that's his teammate. Should be a little bit easier for Marnik to pass his teammate, you would imagine, than the other GT4 drivers. Just going back through, there's the North Sea Porsche. The Ghost Stroke, we've got Rice headed in towards pit road there behind Ghost Stroke. There he comes. GTX Dave, I think, might be following Rice in. So these two on the exact same strategy. Didn't even want to go for a box opposite situation there. So Going Grey saying Marnik showing patience and waiting to pass on the straight. Very appropriate running from him. Alpha back out in P7 after his pit stop. Just go back and see where everybody is right now. Marnik's in 5th, but only the drivers in front of him are the ones that have not yet pitted. 26 minutes left to go in our endurance race. Don't forget, of course, for the next 2 rounds after this one, we're at standard 60-minute length. And then for the finale, and I think it's for 1.5 times the points for the finale. It is a 90-minute race. So I might be looking for some guests to join on radio for a 90-minute race to do on my own with you. So let me know if you can keep everything nice and clean. We're a professional racket here. We try not to offend anybody, and we know we have the whole Nordic family watching at very least. As that super dirty, dusty camera there. There's Alpha in P6 with Hellgrind. So Alpha getting ahead of Hellgrind through that pit stop period. The 98 then, I would say, is now in the provisional podium positions. We're waiting to see where the pit stop will happen for the driver at the head of the field. We've got Chappie and Aries still not pitted. And in P1 in the field, we've got Angel, who here he is, enjoying his moment now out in the lead in the number 7. Tintin says, would I like you to join? Well, let's get to know each other. Absolutely, that sounds good. Dad dropped to 14th, says Shannon. What happened? Could just be a pit stop situation, Shannon. Don't panic too much. Let's just have a check on that one. Where is he? 15th now. Is that right? I can't see him. I think he may have exited. Unfortunately, he's not on my race order. Where has the Nordic Dad gone? Well, that's a dive job there from Major Get Wrecked as he tries to get by this GT4 melee. It's the 31 of GTX Dave. These are the fast drivers in GT4, and they've got their own race to run here. Rice in 12th, that's first position overall. This is about to get a little bit tasty here for Rice, P1, and we've got Survivor coming through as well in the Ferrari 296 Chewy Motorsports dark green and white stripes. I think there's a problem for Nordic Dad, I'm sorry to say, Nordic family. I think he may have disconnected. He appears to be stuck. Let's wait to see, though, as we go through the order. Just double check on that. Are we seeing Nordic Dad anywhere? I don't have him on my list, so if it's on his stream and he's dropping through the order and he's not on my list, my worry there is that he has disconnected. We'll wait and try and confirm that one. Rice in 13th or 2nd overall. This is a fantastic battle between Rice and GTX Dave on the circuit. Aries about to pit. Good info. He has to, doesn't he? 2.5 minutes remain of the pit window at this stage, and sometimes it moves around a little bit. It doesn't give you any sort of countdown warning. It should be on the 20-minute mark that it stops, but sometimes it opens a little late or a little early. I don't really know what drives it. That was Aries just screaming by in the fantastic Porsche. He's got a lot of work to do. Aries leads the race, and Rice almost wiped Aries out there. You can see the different braking pattern of the GT4s. Rice is just taking that diversion into the pit lane. The GT4s have a much longer brake pedal, much longer braking zones, but they seem to reach the end of their braking much later than the GT3s, who have to get on the brakes later, but some that can stop a lot sooner into the apex, and that can catch out GT4s, especially if they're just really used to braking around each other. So that was possibly partly what was going on there for the 71 of Rice, dropping 2.2 seconds to GTX Dave for a short period there. But don't forget, we're expecting to see these two fight to the end of the race, if at all possible. So we'll see what happens later on. They've got Marnik in P1, Angel in 2nd, and Aries back in 3rd, but not for long. He's just finally made his pit stop there with a 1 minute to spare. Alpha will go by as well. Alpha putting himself into a good position here. He has been very, very impressive through this season, Alpha. More contact going grays there between Nate and Major. Let's have a look. Here is North Sea stuck in the middle between Milkman and Hellgrind. Let's go back and try and find Major and Nate. There we go. Nate is ahead of Major at this stage by 0.4, now 0.6 of a second. There's the Audi TG Survivor. These are all GT3 cars running behind Elite Rain as well. Survivor goes low through the final turn. Great to see them so close together as they continue here. That's Nate needing to defend on the way into turn 1. It was one movement, and then Major just tries to brake, not necessarily in a direct straight line. I think he was defending more than he was attacking there. But yeah, there'll be plenty of light blue on the back of Nate's car, it seems, today, from rumours around the pit lane anyway. There they go, feeding through very nicely. Hopefully we've got the exposure nice and high for everybody, so it's as visible, the cars and the colours are as visible as they're ever going to be here in a night race. I think, if memory serves, it's our last night race, like full night race here for the season. So this is Elite Rain ahead of Nate, ahead of Major, Survivor, and then just quite a distance behind there it's Topher. Try and run the outside is Nate Rex, Nate of Get Wrecked of Max Tracks. Survivor goes round, and I think, whoa, Max Tracks just holding on to his AMG, almost sliding out there as the drivers sort of bully him to get by those GT3s. No contact as far as I could see. great battle between these great drivers at this stage. Here we have them trying to filter through past. That's the 69. That's Rob Phil. Just keeping everybody on their toes. Major was going for the outside there. It wasn't going to happen. So this is Major Get Wrecked. Let's put his POV back on, shall we? Just double check that all is well with his stream. Sometimes on YouTube, the streams just kind of drop off quite a bit. There's a dawn to daylight race remaining at Snetterton. Oh, that's nice. We'll look forward to that. In the it's the sunrise side of the UK, Norfolk, there where Snetterton is based, right in the middle of nowhere. The really flat region of Norfolk here in the UK, but yeah, you get phenomenal sunrises out on the east coast of the UK, in a place like Norfolk. We've got here some dodgy camera work there from the cameraman on board the old-fashioned style helicopter. No drone cameras for us here on ACC. Surely that is still to come. Nate chasing down Elite Rain. This looks like it's going to be a good battle between these two. We'll take in the main race situation at the moment. Marnik has resumed the lead of the race ahead of Angel, Alpha and Hellgrind. And then we have Aries, Chappie, Elite Rain and Nate. Talk about great moves this race so far. Aries has done a fantastic job. We've got Nate in his traditional 8th position, but knocking on the door here of Elite Rain's P7. So there's not much happening there for Marnik. Let's give you a bit of Nate action and perhaps put on some Elite Rain, shall we? We don't have any rain at Indianapolis today for you. We'll have to make do with some Elite Rain. Nate here in the McLaren with the white accents and the late breakers. These two are teammates, of course. We've got really good and very distinct liveries for you. So predominantly red is the late breakers. The dark green or black in these conditions are Chewy Motorsports. The historic Motorsport colours of blue and orange is Kessel Run Racing, and the silver and purple are our North Star team. So 16 minutes and a half left to go. Nate in that 8th position now, just picking up a little bit of pace this stage. His best lap, a 1:37.6, Elite Rain a 37.8. There is not much to separate these two, and they'll be on the radio together. And Nate might be starting to wonder whether it's time to ask the boss if we can just allow us through. We've got some pace. We know what we're doing. I can go up the road and try and take on Chappie. I think that might be a bit too far away. With 16 minutes and 16 seconds, the gap between them and Chappie up the road here in the 4:05. We've got North Sea. Let's just have a check on our leaders and the gaps. We've got Aries in 5th. I think he's going for driver of the day for me at the moment. Aries. Hellgrind's in 4th. Alpha's in 3rd. We have, if I can... Oh, not again. Stupid keyboard. It eats batteries, this keyboard. I need to put a new set of batteries in every week, I think, at this point. There we go. Okay. Simracer making his way by. I'm just trying to find everybody. There is Angel, the McLaren, purple and silver North Star Angel in the number 7. Marnik is 10 seconds up the road. GTX Dave leads the GT4 field ahead of Rice. Now, I've always been calling him Rice, and because of the way he capitalizes his name, but I've started to think he might be Y Trice. But no, I think it is Rice by the look of things. So he's never corrected me. But drivers do this. They just allow me to say the wrong name or the wrong gender for like a very long amount of time before actually giving me the information. Yeah, the batteries have decided to duck out on me there. Let's see if I can't get this back on. Yeah, that's what we want. Bit of that. Thank you. Okay. We'll use a different keypad right now. It's all a little bit off, but I think that the F1 2 and 3 buttons aren't as good on this keyboard. GTX Dave leading the GT4 field ahead of Rice then, and Alpha in P3 and the GT3 field are coming through to make the pass. Now, is he? Oh, fantastic save from Alpha. That was something from the 98 there. Do yourself a favour, I can't do this, but knock that back 10 or 20 seconds on the live stream and enjoy that one from Alpha. Wow. That will be a scary moment. We're into that period of the race now. On any given point of the race, the final 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes of any stint in ACC, the tyres are not happy. That might be a good indication there that Alpha's running one set of tyres for the whole race, as most drivers may well be. Look at the state of our polystyrene marker boards there on the exit of turn 14. They were a right state, just packing pieces all over the shop, and a terrific mess there for everybody. Is that? Oh, okay, there, that is working. That's good to know. Excellent, excellent, excellent. But F3 isn't working. What is happening here? Half my keyboard works as predicted, half doesn't. Not a good day for keyboards here at Black Flag Racing. Simracing in 11th there. And we've got Hellgrind in 4th. He is just ahead now of Topher, who's rocking the acquired taste looking Alpine. People, some say I have a prejudice against French cars, and they are absolutely right. Chappie in P6 right now. It is the keyboard curse today. Not wrong. Alohi in 14th. We've got Hunter currently in 4th in class, which is about, I think he might have started 3rd in class. No, he did start 4th because 3rd was a different driver. It was actually GTX Dave. But Hunter, so far, fingers crossed, the 22 does not look to have been punted by a GT3 car. And they've got a tremendous battle here for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th in the GT4 field. This is well worth sticking with. Hunter's got a teammate for Chewy Motorsports in front of him of Alohi, who was looking a little bit leery there in the Aston Martin. Oh, that was tight. Hunter does not want to run into his teammate before the end of the race. Where's Alpha? Says Purple. Alpha running P3 at the moment, Purple. Started in P3. AKA CM Alpha. Yeah, I understood Alpha. No worries, no worries. Can you see on the stream there? Can you see the leaderboard okay? I think you can. And it should be working all right. Let me know if the leaderboard's ever just you know, stop working, or I'm showing the wrong thing. I'll do my best to fix it for you. You can see there we've got Hunter just dropping back from Alohi slightly. Oh, too small for Purple, right? Understood. No worries. You have to put this this screen on the big screen, on the big TV, if you want to enjoy it. I've seen some great pictures of Black Flag Racing fans watching out on the deck on their big sports screen. Look at this, as Elite Rain blasts by and Milkman gets his way by Hunter. That's for 5th now. So Hunter dropping down the order here in the traffic melee. What a fantastic view of race action we've got going on here on the run down. Appreciate that. Thanks, Purple. It takes a lot of work, so I'm glad that that it's worth it. Gives you those extra angles. We do 5 at the start, but I think that's a little bit too much. On the big screen, it's small for some of us, says Bullman. I don't know what to tell you. Get a big screen, dude. Or one with Ultra HD or something, and it should come through a little bit cleaner. Hunter then 5th place, drops another place to North Sea. So Hunter, unfortunately, not having the finest final 12 minutes of the race, but I think he'll take it at the moment, so he doesn't end up in the scenery today more than once from the drivers. He's got an 11-second gap back to 10th in the GT3 Survivor, who, while he is surviving, he has dropped back. He was a lot further up the order at the Survivor. I think may have been in the wars a little bit. Marnik's about to put a lap on him. 4 seconds between Marnik and Survivor on track. Marnik looking so comfortable right now. 10 seconds, and this is great because we haven't seen him and Alpha actually duking it out on track yet this season, but it's great for our championship, no doubt, to see the ebb and flow of points and finishing positions. Going Gray saying aggressive but safe driving, Milkman and Hunter. Good show from them. Do you want some more of that? I think you might. It sounds like you maybe do want a bit more. Look at this. I love to see the drivers so close together. Look, 4 different manufacturers, 3 different teams. Alohi, Milkman's, North Sea, Hunter in quick succession here with 8.5 minutes to go. Trying to get onto that podium position in the GT4s led by Alohi at this stage. This is the 356 Porsche of North Sea. Another great camera angle there. I feel like Hunter, the fight has gone from Hunter at this stage. He's put a glow stick on his roof, has Hunter. Just check that out. Look at this, the only driver with a glow stick for an antenna there. Looks like a remote control car out there. Little RC car for Hunter, as Milkman just behind Alohi. Yeah, all looking good though. Let's give you another quick look at the overall standings. It's not actually much bigger, is it, for you, Dan, than the finish order there for everybody. I have to go to a single main game screen to give you that in full fidelity. Alohi ahead of Milkman. Milkman starting, I believe it was, in P2. Yeah, like something from Toy Story for Hunter. I think it was a little bit longer, wasn't it, for RC? But yeah, I'm pretty sure his antenna was green on RC's car. Alohi leading this group by 0.4 of a second only. This is absolutely anybody's, and you know, we're talking about 10 meters too late on the brakes. We're talking about missing an apex slightly, and you'll be swallowed up here. A little bit of contact, and here we go for that 3rd place in the GT4s. No panic from Alohi, but he does strike the apex very hard, puts the car up onto 2 or 3 wheels for a second there, as Alohi is trying to hang on to this podium. I think that will represent an awesome finish for Alohi, for Chewy Motorsports, who badly need the points at this stage of the championship. Moving, once we're done here, of course, be well into the second half of the season. 7 race championship, including that 50% longer race, a 90-minute special. Round the outside goes Milkman. Can he hang on to that one? Not quite, as Alohi is taking this very calmly. And now we're going 2 by 2 into the corner. Alohi trying to hold on to his racing line, as that looks like Survivor coming through. The Chewy Motorsports 296. GT3 coming right through here, trying to slice through this group. But unfortunately for him, they are all on their racing line. They're battling. They're not thinking about him. And there's Marnik comes through as well. Marnik and the Lexus blasting past. This could open up the door. Milkman caught out. North Sea going down and going low down the inside through that final corner. North Sea might have this. And it's contact with the leader. It's contact with the leader. That was, I want to say, Milkman into Marnik. That was Milkman into Marnik. Let's try and get back to where that all happened. I can't see them. Come on. Oh, they've just disappeared from me. Tell me they didn't actually disappear fully. No, Marnik, P1 still. By now, just 1.5 seconds. And he'll have some damage on that car. And enter the fray. That's Milkman. That is friendly fire. And we've got Milkman into the back of Marnik on their team. And the same team as each other. Marnik's lead cut drastically to 1.7 seconds. He'll only just be glad here that he's got his teammate in P2 behind him, and will presumably not try and steal this one at the end. But a horrible moment there for North Star Racing, as Milkman in the GT4 careens into the back of Marnik, who was on the outside heading in to the right-hander. And around he went. I say, imagine he's fighting a little bit of damage right now, but at the moment, on track at least, it is North Star in first, second, and what is 17th, but together on track at this stage. Here comes Angel to overtake Hunter. Hold your breath, Hunter. He's okay. He's okay. Everybody chill. No problems for Hunter, but he's made it by. So Hunter is now in 5th. There with the issue for Milkman. Didn't actually affect anybody else, it seems. And then just going back up the order. I can't find Marnik all of a sudden. I can't find Marnik, folks. Is Marnik just disconnected with just a couple of minutes left to go? I've got a horrible, horrible feeling that that is what's happened. It is what's happened. No Marnik. Stolen, his lead stolen in the final 5 minutes. It looks like we've lost Marnik. Let's see if we can get him back. I don't know what MRI means, going Grays, but MIA? I don't know. But Angel into the lead for North Star. That's the 57 going wide through turn 1. That was a low heat. Trying to hold off North Sea, flashing the lights there. This is that P3. North Sea not happy with him defending a position off the track. That'll be a question for the stewards. Marnik and Getrek disconnecting. That's shocking, but no more so than for Marnik, who was on for an absolutely dominant win. But that's motor racing. Cars break. Unfortunately, cars break down, especially in endurance racing. It's just awful when it's the final few percent of a race. But you have to take the rough with the smooth sometimes here in ACC. A low heat. No one can deny that Marnik had that on lock today, despite the best efforts of his teammate. Unfortunately, I shouldn't laugh. I'm not laughing. But at least for Marnik, his teammate Angel will be the one that looks to be taking the win today. Servers are better at taking out the leader than teammates this team. Oh, dude, I think that definitely qualifies for a too soon gag there. Angel leads the GT3 field and the race outright naturally. We've got a low heat in the 57 battling with North Sea. Come on, North Sea, can you do it? Going low, but he can't use the main part of the racetrack. There are the two cars that have disconnected from us. North Sea to the outside. Well, we've got Alpha coming through here. Alpha could do a favour to his teammate who's trying to defend. Can he cut in front of the red car and stay behind the green car? That is team coordination right there. That is Alpha doing exactly what his teammate would like him to do. Now he can blast by as they get onto the infield straightaway, but that's opening the gap for a low heat to North Sea. That will not be something that North Sea wants to see. Too many C's. And they're coming through in the Ford Mustang is Hellgrind for a fabulous podium provisionally today. Aries, what a drive from I want to say down in P10 Aries up to 4th. Definitely going to be my driver of the day today. Marnik is rejoining us. I think Marnik's going to be out for a top 10 finish. So obviously a big issue there. Well, I was going to suggest it could have been damage repair, but it can't be the case. He must have disconnected and reconnected, but he'll be so upset about that. And your heart goes out to him. What a horrible situation. Get wrecked on his way back in as well. That's just the delay, it must be, for coming through the field. Angel crosses the line with 11 seconds left to go. So with his gap there, he actually could have waited for the checkered flag to come out before crossing the line, but everybody finishes the leader's lap here as they come through. So that is going to be Angel leading this race to bring this home in a minute and a half's time. Yeah, Tintin's saying it seems the Dutch servers are having an issue given both are Dutchies. Possibly someone's cut a cable. I wouldn't implicate any world leader for cutting undersea cables, but I think you know who I'm talking about. We've got Angel ahead of Alpha, and we've got Hellgrind in P3. North Sea, and speaking of undersea cables, North Sea hanging on to P3 in the GT4 field. I think he might do it. I think he might finish this one out in absolute class. But this is Angel heading in towards the end of the second sector. Rip Starlink says purple. I wouldn't want to be sim racing using Starlink at this stage, guys. I really wouldn't. I want hard wires everywhere. Thinking that maybe Chewie chewed through the cable. Well, Hunter's still here. But yeah, possibly. We've got Angel coming through then, the final portion of the circuit. Passing the pit lane onto the famous Brickyard, flashing the lights. And it's Angel who wins at Indianapolis in the GT3 field. Fantastic drive from Angel. Alpha, likewise, starting fourth, had a pretty quiet race. Not just because he's driving a BMW, but the 98 comes through to take home P2. And welcome back to Premier Hellgrind, who comes through and takes P3. What a great run from our drivers there. Just want to make sure that we get our drivers in the GT4 field home properly. Just trying to find everybody. It is Alohi who comes home. Alohi finishes in P3 ahead of Hunter. No, Alohi. It's North Sea who takes P3 in the GT3 field. It's Alohi in fourth. Hunter in sixth or seventh there, with Milkman home in sixth. Let's try and get you a race order to have a look. Congratulations. I'm sure it's going to be Rice momentarily. Where is Rice? Here he is. Still racing hard, Rice. But he's just putting an overtake, or being overtaken by another driver. This is the 71. For a fantastic day here for North Star Racing, taking the win in both categories. Here comes Rice then to finish this one out. Sim Racers in the car directly behind him, the MG behind him there. But it's Rice who wins in GT3. Great run from him. Rice coming home and securing a great result overall. I will just go back to the main screen there as we finish out, and I can go through the race order for you. Everything's just messing up when everybody does this this kind of crazy movements all over the place. It kind of messes up the race order. But yes, we will confirm race order. I've got Angel ahead of Alpha and Hellgrind, Aries in fourth, Chappie in fifth, Elite Rain and Nate finishing 6th and 7th positions. My driver of the day is going to go to Aries. Survivor in 8th, Sim Racer in 9th, and Marnik home in 10th and the last position of the finishers. No, not necessarily, but Marnik home in 10th. Dave, I believe, has actually won the GT4 field. Wow, okay. It's all going a little bit pear-shaped. Yeah, Dave did come home in the end in the GT4 field, winning the race. My apologies, Dave, in the Genetic. Didn't run out of fuel this week. Dave home in P1 ahead of Rice and North Sea. Get Wrecked finishing in between them there, dead last in the GT3 finishers. North Sea and Alohi home ahead of Hunter and Milkman, Ghost Stroke and Rob Phil. Good drive from Rob Phil here with Temp in 20th. Finishing a little bit far back. Max Trax seemingly disconnecting, so did Slam Bonin and Topher, finishing several laps back, unfortunately. I think they were okay. Nordic Dad, definitely we lost him, I'm sorry to say. But thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit something positive or a tip button if you are so inclined today before departing. But great to... Marnik, I'm so sorry. If you're going to go ahead and blame me, then blame me. But you're saying that essentially streaming cost you the race. Did you run out of coins in the coin meter then, and it cut everything off? My apologies, Marnik, if that was on me. But yeah, it was good to see your POV. Thank you everybody for watching. Really appreciate it as always. Great to be here with you. The remainder of the calendar will be on the end screen for you all. But from me, Webbo, from us here at Black Flag Racing, I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next race day.